What's up guys, today we're going to be going over the top 5 weapons to farm from Umbral Engrams this season. If you're like most, you're probably getting a bunch of Umbral Engrams and Altered Element this season, and outside of getting maybe the Dark Drinker 2.0, you don't necessarily know what to turn in your Umbrals into, and which weapons you should be grinding for, and which ones are the most important. So that's going to be the point in this video. I'm going to try to answer that question, and as you notice, it's going to be weapons, not armor, because of the fact that this bottom row of armor focusing is reportedly bugged right now and not actually dropping high stats. But on the other hand, the Prophecy Dungeon drops really high stat roll armor, so I would recommend farming that for armor this season and not actually the Umbral Engrams unless it gets fixed and updated to actually drop high stat rolls every single time. First, before we get into the top 5 weapons to farm from Umbral Engrams, I want to show off the fastest way to farm Umbral Engrams and Altered Element to focus them this season. I already made a video about it, it's going to be Nightmare Hunts, but for this week, the fastest one is going to be Pride, which is going to be Skull Loss. And this one's actually a lot quicker than the one from last week. We've done it in under 1 minute and 20 seconds. The boss fight is a little bit harder to one phase. Pretty much what we do is try to kill one of the nightmares to get the essence buff, so we can kill the boss in one phase very easily. But pretty much all you have to do while running through the Nightmare Hunt is just kill the nightmares to get the next CP to load in, and it's very quick, and I definitely recommend doing that one this week. So first, starting at number 5 is going to be Gnawing Hunger, which is going to be the Gambit AR, which is coming back with a new updated version, and this thing shreds in PvP and PvE. One of my favorite roles I have right now is Zen Moment and Swashbuckler, but as you see, there's all kinds of good perks. The entire right column is pretty much god tier perks, except for maybe Kill Clip. Kill Clip's good in PvP, but not necessarily PvE. And the left side, there's no like traditional reload perk, but pretty much once again, all the perks are very good. You can also get drop mag in the magazine slot if you're really worried about reload speed on this weapon. And with a damage perk in PvE, this thing shreds. 600 RPM and 720 RPM autos are definitely growing on me. And another thing you can do is use the Demolitionist one, and since it's a void weapon, this will pair very nicely with some Void Walker Oppressive Darkness builds, for example with Nezarec Sin. You're going to be getting Void Kills to proc that. You're going to be getting Demolitionist to get your grenade back even quicker. Then on top of that, you can also use anti-barrier rounds on this weapon. Pair that with Breach Resonator on your chest piece, which I believe they're updating and fixing soon. I believe right now it's actually bugged, but the next hotfix coming out this coming week should be fixing that. So this is going to be a really good build if you don't have one of the other Seraph weapons I use in my Warlock build. And yeah, overall, ARs are definitely growing on me. I think they are really good in actually in-game activities where you can get close range with something like a sidearm or SMG. So I definitely think this weapon has a place in PvE, and I think it's definitely worth grinding for this season and future seasons. Next, coming in at the number 4 slot will be the Breachlight, which is still my favorite sidearm in the game. It's going to be a 2-round burst sidearm, and the one I have that I use all the time is going to be Demolitionist and Rampage. There's going to be 2 pretty good rolls on this. First, the one I just mentioned, Demo Rampage. Then you can also get Outlaw and Multi-Kill Clip. Both are very good depending on what you want to do. If you're just going for pure ad clear, Outlaw Multi-Kill Clip is very good. If you're going for more of a grenade build, obviously Demo and Rampage. And like I said, this is still my favorite sidearm in the game. It being a 2-round burst, it actually shreds through red bars and even majors. This thing hits so hard, it has really good range, pretty much the best range of all the sidearms in the game. If you have a good roll on it, for example, Accurized rounds and also ranged masterwork, which I have on mine, I mean, this thing just slaps around red bars and even majors and just feels really nice. And as if it wasn't good enough already, you can pair this with Surprise Attack, which is going to be the mod while Charge with Light reloading or readying a sidearm will consume all stacks of Charge with Light and convert them into a stack of a major damage buff. And you can pair that with Taking Charge and also Swiftly Charge, then also stacks on stacks. That way every single time you get Charge with Light with one of those 2 mods, you get 2 stacks. And I already kind of made a video about this build. I mean, with Breachlight, it just slaps everything. I mean, you're one bursting every red bar in the game once you have Rampage ×3 or Multi-Kill Clip ×3 and the Surprise Attack mod going. Then when you get up to majors, you're easily killing them in under 1 magazine, and even some ultras are dying in 1 magazine. I mean, this thing hits so hard with this mod going. It's 2x damage on top of the fact that this primary is already doing like 15,000 DPS with Rampage. I mean, it's actually kind of crazy. This was one of my favorite weapons from Season of Dawn, and back in that season, I made a top 5 list of weapons to farm that season, and this was number 2, I believe, on that list. And even to this day, I still think it's one of the better weapons in the entire game, and that's why it's going to be number 4 on this list. Coming in at number 3 will be the Martyr's Retribution, which is going to be the other Season of Dawn weapon you can farm for this season. And back during Season of Dawn, this was number 1 on that list I was just speaking of because of the fact that it's a wave frame intrinsic perk grenade launcher, and it's the only one in the game which means it pretty much shoots thermite grenades. And looking at the best perks on this, you can get auto loading or field prep on the left slot. Then the right slot, I recommend Demolitionist or maybe Lead from Gold. I love Demolitionist, as you guys all know, so that's the one I would recommend. But Lead from Gold is also another very good perk to help with your ammo economy. And like I said, this weapon has wave frame on it, which means when you impact something with this GL, it pretty much does a thermite grenade in a very long straight line. And it does so much damage that it can kill even knights in one hit. So it does really high damage. It kills a lot of things. It's very good ad clear. This is one of the most unique weapons they've ever made. It almost feels like an exotic or a pinnacle weapon, but it's just a regular legendary weapon. And you can also pair this with a few cool builds, the first being Wrath of Rasputin. Solar Splash damage final blows have a chance to create Warmind cells, which procs on every single final blow with this weapon, so it's really good at creating Warmind cells with that build. Then you can also get Charged with Light with this mod right here, Blast Radius. Double kills with a GL will make you charge with light. So there's a handful of cool builds you can do with Martyr's Retribution, which I might be making its own video about, so I'll save them for then. But that's a few ideas you can do with that weapon. Coming in at the number 2 slot will be the Seraph SMG, which will create Warmind cells. And my favorite role on this one is Feeding Frenzy, then Ambitious Assassin. But there's going to be another god role you can also get on this weapon. As you see, there's only 4 perks per column, so it's actually pretty easy to farm for. And both of the god rolls, in my opinion, start with Ambitious Assassin left slot, then either Feeding Frenzy or Dragonfly in the right slot. If you're using Dragonfly, I would recommend trying to get Drop Mag as your magazine option. And the thing that makes this SMGs really good is if you pair it with some Warmind Cell mods, you can create Warmind Cells with this weapon. Every 5 to 7 red bars, every 4 majors, or every 1 ultra will drop a Warmind Cell, which explode and kill everything in the room, so it's extremely powerful, one of the best ad-clear lanes in the game just because of the fact that I can create Warmind Cells. And this is one of the weapons I use in my Warlock build with the Verity's Brow variant of that build. And honestly, you could work this gun into pretty much any build in the game because of the fact that Global Reach only costs 1 energy, and Warmind Cells are just that strong that I recommend using them in every single build in the game right now. I think they're going to be very important for as long as we can still make builds with them before the mods get phased out in some way, so definitely go after this weapon. It's pretty much the only worthwhile Seraph primary to go after, and there's only 2 that you can still get this season, the other being a shotgun, so this is pretty much the only one worth farming, and it's actually my favorite Seraph weapon anyways, so I definitely recommend this one even if you could farm the other ones anyways. So not only is it a good SMG in general, it also creates Warmind Cells, and that's why it's number 2 on this list. Then finally coming in at the number 1 slot, shouldn't be surprised, the Dark Drinker 2.0. This weapon is the best sword in the game. It's the DPS king right now and probably will be for quite a while. And the god roll you want to get on this weapon will be Whirlwind Blade, Relentless Strikes, Swordmaster, Jagged Edge, which will result in the highest DPS for bosses and also the most sustained damage. Another good roll you can get is going to be Surrounded and Harvest Blade, which I think works really well for ad clear because of the fact that Surrounded is going to be 35% and you have it right away. You don't need 5 light attacks to get up to it. But yeah, this is definitely the most worthwhile weapon to farm from Umbral Engrams, and it's not even close. Definitely grind out this engram until you get a 4 out of 4 god roll because it's that good and will be that important until it's sunset out of the game. And once again, this is one of the main weapons in my Warlock build that I made earlier this season. So if someone told you can only farm for 1 weapon this season, it would definitely be this one and it wouldn't even be close. So definitely go farm this until you get that roll. Anyways, that's my list for the top 5 weapons to farm from Umbral Engrams this season. As you saw, 4 of them were old legendaries from previous seasons, and only the number 1 spot was a new weapon. Unfortunately, I'm just not a huge fan of any of the new weapons. I like some of the perks on them, but I just hate the type of weapons they're on. For example, a 340 RPM pulse, which isn't that useful in PvE, then a bow and stuff like that, a fusion rifle, just they're not that great of weapons for PvE, but I do like some of the perks on them, and I might make a few videos breaking down those perks, and I'm definitely looking forward to seeing some of those new perks on different weapons in the upcoming fall release. But all the weapons on this list will still be able to get max light for next season at least, if not 2 or 3 more seasons. So it's definitely worth grinding them out for not only this season, but also the fall DLC. And yeah, I think that's going to be pretty much it for the video. The rest will be just a little bit of strike gameplay. And yeah, let me know which one of these are your favorite. Is there a different weapon from Umbrals that you would have put in on this list? And which ones are you farming for right now? Anyways, thanks for watching. Catch you guys next time.